Okay, I'm gonna try and say all these thoughts I've had. You know, I was gonna join the Border Patrol when I got out of the Marines, but I got a job offer in Afghanistan and I took that instead. But I was gonna join the Border Patrol when I came back, and I didn't because I had a girlfriend, Jamie, that's my wife now, and she was here in South Carolina, so I just looked for work here. But then I had another child a year ago, and I was going to join ICE, actually, because I saw that they're hiring and giving big bonuses and they need people in Dallas. Well, I'm trying to move to Dallas, but I don't have any job lined up, right? And the reason I was going to join the Border Patrol and the reason I was going to join ICE is because I was in the military. I understand serving your country, and you're just following the orders of the people above you, right? I don't agree with the Iraq War, but I fought in it. And I joined before the Iraq War was a thought, I think. I mean, I don't actually know. I joined in January of 2000, and then I went to Iraq. Well, I was there at going up to Baghdad, the invasion, in February, March of 2003. So and then I went back again in 2004, and then I went back again in 2008, and then I went back again. Did I go back again? I might have gone to Afghanistan after that. Anyway, I don't think these ICE agents necessarily have to even agree with what they're doing. You know? They're doing a job. They did it under Obama, and now they're doing it under Trump. I don't think that we should be giving them a hard time. I really don't. I feel like, because holy shit, what would I do if I had signed up? Would I quit my job? I don't think I would. I would do just what I did before. Now, granted, in the military, I think you're under contract. But what if these ICE agents took those $50,000 bonuses and now they're like, shit, what do I have to do? Do I have to give up my house? Do I have to sell my house? Me and my wife and kids are going to have to go back to job hunting, and we got to sell our house? What if he bought it? You know, like, do you understand how uprooted their lives could be? They're committed. And it wasn't a problem when they did it under Obama. Now, the way it's being handled, I've already explained. I don't think that guy should have been out there to shoot Renee Good. The other situation with the ICE agents, man, the one, the pretty guy, I think his last name is Pretty, but, you know, because I've watched the video more than I've listened to people talk about it, because I'm not interested in everybody else's opinions, but they need to do an investigation on that one, because if his gun went off and then he was reaching for something, all of a sudden they're in a gunfight and they have a guy who they know carries a gun. There's the whole issue of him being antagonistic prior to that. If, you know, that one requires a whole big investigation. But bottom line is just, I feel like these protesters are wrecking people's lives that don't deserve it. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's like, it's the equivalent of holding up baby killer signs when our Vietnam vets return. Right? You know, they don't, why are you hating on people that signed up to serve their country? That's what these guys did. That was voted in. The popular vote voted in getting rid of illegal immigrants. And I'm just going to share my personal relation to that. I've got a friend that I've had for about 10 years. He used to live real close to me, right? And his name is Leroy. Leroy, if you watch this, I don't know if Leroy works YouTube. But Leroy used to live near me, and he had to move out because it got too expensive. And yet, it loaded up with Mexicans, and that's not a joke. Like, it used to be all, Leroy's black, it used to be all black people all around us, and now it's Mexicans. And now Leroy is basically homeless now. He tried to get a job. Well, he had a job. He got a temp service job on a construction crew, and I would have thought that that was going to work out for him, because, you know, he's just a hardworking black guy. Not that part I think sucks, because I don't know. I know black draws the sun more, so I don't think if I was black I'd want to be out in the sun. But I mean, he's a hard worker is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I actually met him, was he was offering to do work for me around the house. And he's a hard worker. He's a big dude. He's a hard worker, and a good friend of mine. Anyway, he's basically homeless. He's not. So you know, here's the thing. He's not that good of a friend. I can't take him in. I've got a wife and I've got a kid. I plan on having more kids. I don't have room for somebody else. So I feel like, since I don't have room for somebody else, this country doesn't have room for somebody else. Those Mexicans need to go. Also, that was why he couldn't get the job on the construction crew, is because he he only speaks English, you know? And so he just wasn't as productive of a fit and as good of a fit, because there was a communication barrier. And let's be honest, they can hire those guys much cheaper, because they're stacking them in our apartments down the street from us, like more than you're supposed to live. Down, the houses have been bought up around us, and you can walk the roads in my shoes and see what I'm seeing. And you'll understand why it was voted in. Maybe not the way they're going about it, but that is not up to them. That is not up to them. Stop spitting on these guys. You know? Can you imagine what that's like? You're out there, you're doing something, you may or may not believe in it, but you believed in it when you signed up. But now they might just have you by the nuts, because, like, if you quit, you'll lose your house and possibly your marriage and your kids, you know? I just can't even imagine being in that situation. And I'll be honest, I'm grateful I didn't join the Border Patrol. And I'm grateful I didn't join ICE. Do you want to know why? Because of all these protesters that, like, I'd be like, hey, I'm just following orders. Why are you attacking me? What am I supposed to do? And if you get spit on enough days in a row, you think that's not going to mess with your mind? Meanwhile, you should come to my streets. Instead of protesting those guys out there, why don't you come to my streets and we'll just walk it, and you'll see how many of them are still living here peacefully, right? They're living here peacefully because they're not creating any problems. However, I don't think that they're really doing a lot of good, because house values are going up. And so here's the thing. The people that own houses and the people that have money, they're happy about this stuff. But the typical American that's just still trying to buy a home, the typical American that's trying to get a job, that's going to go, you know, kid graduates from high school and wants to go get a job on a construction crew, they're hurting them. I guess you have to get tied into a union in order to protect yourself, right? But I mean, everything I see for home building, home remodeling, painting, I got another friend, okay? He lost his, he didn't lose it, he lost a lot of customers. He had a hardwood flooring business here in Charleston, and he took a real hit over the last 6 years to the point where he just can't do it. I mean, he's got his regulars, right? Or, you know, like word of mouth, the jobs that he's done, but he can't just go and bid on a job because the competition, right? So so I can see why it was voted that they need to go. And I can see why the ICE agents, they may love it and they may hate it, but I can see why they have to do it. And since I can see that all as a real near path of my life that almost went down, you know, like if you can look back at your life and go, wow, I almost went that route. You know, and I mean, I look at everything. My son Jordan is joining the Air Force, and as a father, I told him that's a brilliant idea and I think he should do it. If it was a friend, I would tell him you got to go in the Marine Corps. I mean, Marines are way more fun. You know what? I should probably tell him anyway, right? My son's my friend too. And now that I've seen, you know, but no, it doesn't matter which one you go in. You can still find yourself doing things you don't want to do. And the friends of mine that are out there that are protesting this is the ones that really surprises me, because that's why I wanted to get this out, to be like, hey, do you guys understand? That was almost me. That was almost me out there. Like, I'd be out there getting spit on. Like, y'all know my heart, you know? I just want to help, but it's got to start in this country. And that means, in order to help my friend Leroy, I don't know how many people have to go from around this area. And, you know, and I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it is. But I'm not going to stand in the way of it happening if it is possible. So, just wanted to vent that, get it off my chest. And now I'm gonna go get my gym on, which also, I don't know, I feel like I've worn this. I'm looking at it and I'm going, I think I've already worn this in one of these videos. Maybe this is my favorite Monday gym session clothings. I don't know. But all right, later.